When you first follow the link in the email that we provided, you will end up looking at a file that looks like this. It's called Copy of Log for Students. It's a Google document and it's a master document for every student in the cohort. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make your own copy by going to File and Make a Copy. You're going to name it with your last name and maybe first initial, and then do the semester 2015 fall early field experience log and click OK. And you've just made that file your own. So that way when you're working on it and typing in your information, you're not impacting the master file that everybody sees when they first follow that link. So for the sake of saving time, let's just flip over and see how we go about logging activities in this school. And I've given you a couple of examples to give you an idea of how to do this. So the first thing you're going to do is you'll notice that the dates have already been filled in for the first couple of weeks to show you what that looks like. You're going to enter in the number of hours you were at school. And I'm going to slide up to the very first day, which was today. And you'll notice we put in 8 hours at school. That's our typical day, 8 to 4. Now, if you're at Price's Fork, you might have a couple of extra hours today with open house, and tomorrow at Bellevue, you'll have a couple of extra hours with open house. Sometimes that number might look like 7.5 if you are getting an unobstructed lunch that's free. You might call that 7.5 hours then. So you're going to list the activities, and please put periods to separate your phrases. That's fine. Make sure that you probably start with a verb. That's going to be helpful for seeing how you were involved in the activity. And you'll notice that you'll see some classifications over here. So we were at school for 8 hours, and during that time we supported preparation for open house. We attended the faculty meeting for the opening of the year, and we conferenced with the CT about the upcoming year. And that led us to, we're not going to have any observation or teaching hours until students get back, certainly. We did go ahead and count an hour of conferencing because that's about how long we got to spend. Maybe it happened in 2 half-hour sessions, but we did get a couple of times to meet with the CT about the upcoming year and what the field experience would look like. And then we had 7 hours of other, which is that preparation for open house, the faculty meeting, those kinds of things, leading us to a total of 8 hours. Other activities are really things like planning instruction, making materials, assisting the teacher with helping and monitoring students, conducting morning routines, bus duty. You'll notice I filled in a sample for the first day of school, and I said that shadowed the CT for bus duties, supported students with notebook setup, organizing materials and community building activities, observed, noted some things we observed, talked about co-planning a read aloud for Friday. That's going to be something that you actually plan and teach. And that's a key thing to note. During this day, even though we're helping students, we don't actually call those instructional hours because you weren't involved in an explicit planning process. You didn't create a mini lesson plan or notes on implementation. Those kinds of teaching activities have to have an instructional outcome that you've been part of an explicit planning process for. Now, you'll notice, though, that I did include that teaching hour then when you actually conducted the reading aloud because you had participated in a planning time and we're now implementing that instruction. So we would call that teaching. You'll notice, let's suppose we went in here and we said that was 6 hours of observation. This cell turns red because now your total number of hours has exceeded the number of hours you were at school. And for our purposes, we like to align these hours. We like for our log to really reflect the time that you were in the building. We get plenty of hours, so we don't need to worry about making sure that we have enough. So let's use this number as a way to calibrate the number of hours that we participated in observation, teaching, conferencing, and other activities. You will certainly be involved in extracurricular planning and so forth, but for the purposes of this log right now, we're really going to focus for the next few weeks on the hours that you were in school. Conferencing hours are hours that you actually got to talk with your CT or us about the field experience. And observation hours are when you're learning from your CT by observing them, or when you're learning from a specialty teacher or a guidance counselor or one of the other faculty members at the school about the processes of implementing instruction. The last thing that you're going to do is you're going to share this document, and in here you're going to want to put the Google sharing addresses for Dr. Altieri. I'm not going to put myself in because I created this document and I don't want to confuse Google unnecessarily, but you would add me as well, and then find out what email address your CT wants you to share this log with her, because you can add her to the list, and that way she can go in and help support you with making sure that your log is an accurate representation of your week. That's it.